Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Well, the 2023 National is over. I'm back home in central Pennsylvania. Drove home on Monday. Took about 12 hours to drive home. I've been home for about 2 hours now, so I thought I would do sort of a final thought video here where I talk about some of my experiences at the National and do another look at all the cards that I picked up in one sort of video summary, show off everything that I got and so on. So the first thing that I obviously want to mention is that I think this was probably my best National ever. Now, this is the fifth National that I've been to, 4 of them in Chicago and last year in Atlantic City. Looking forward to Cleveland next year to see how that venue is and the experience. Really looking forward to that. But I think the highlight of my trip was obviously hanging out with so many great fellow YouTubers. Some of them that I met in person for the first time and interacted through YouTube or other social media for, in some cases, several years. And this was the first time that I got to meet them. So hanging out on the Thursday night, the Friday night, meeting up during the show, going out to dinner. It was just an amazing experience. I am so glad that I went and got to hang out with so many great guys. And of course, my interaction with Wade Boggs was probably the best interaction that I've had at any show. The whole eBay Leaf thing, and then the photo op and the signing and getting to meet him, hang out with him a little bit with some other members of the Boggs Trust behind the curtain, so to speak, after his signing was just an amazing experience. So some of my thoughts on the National in general. The space. Obviously, everyone that was there knows about the additional space that was added. I think it was overall a good thing. I think what it did was it helped. I think maybe there were actually more dealers that were allowed to set up. I'm not sure about the dealer count versus 2021 when it was back in Chicago. But the added space, I know there was some breaker sections and some more corporate booths. But what I think it did was it helped spread the crowd out a little bit. I think if everything was tried to shove in the old space, the aisles would have just been, and the rows would have just been crammed. They weren't too bad in my opinion. Obviously, traffic around individual tables, you're going to get that based on what cards are at a particular dealer and the interest in those cards. So I don't think that can ever be avoided. But I think in general, the space layout, even though it meant I did a heck of a lot more walking, I think was overall probably a good thing. Yeah, there was an issue with the AC. It was pretty stuffy, at least in the main area. Now, it didn't bother me that much, but I could tell that it probably could have used some more AC. With a space like that, you would think they'd have a system in place, and maybe they did. And I think I heard that there's some malfunction or something. So that wasn't the best. Although, I wasn't like sweating during the whole thing, but that was just me. In terms of the dealers and the deals, overall, I think there were dealers that were willing to work, at least with me for my experience. There were 2 dealers that I've pretty much written off any future National or any other show that they may be at. I'm not even going to bother checking their cards out. They just weren't willing to really negotiate on price. It was their price or, thank you and move on. But in general, I got some really good deals, and there were dealers there that were willing to work with you, get rid of some inventory. So overall, I think it was a good experience for me. in terms of what I was able to buy with my national budget. Another thing, I think there was a good mixture of vintage and modern. I wasn't interested in any of the modern cards, but passing by the tables, there was a good amount of modern cards and a good amount of vintage. I didn't do a count, but just off the cuff, I would say maybe even 50-50 or fairly close. There was a lot of vintage and a lot of modern, something for everyone. I do have an idea, and I've told this to others. I'm not sure why they haven't done this, and there may be some reasons that I'm not aware of. But to me, logically, it seems that with a show this big, that they would put all the dealers that deal only in vintage in one area, and all the dealers that deal with modern cards in another area, and there are some that have a mixture and sort of put them in the middle. To me, walking around and having to pass by all the dealers with modern cards, I didn't need to go to them. I didn't need to see what their inventory was. I just walked right by. And conversely, if those of you that were looking for modern cards and not interested in vintage, you had to pass by all the vintage tables. Again, maybe they just want movement around. I don't know, but to me, the logical thing is when you go to the National, even if you're interested in some modern and vintage, you can go to the vintage section, look at all the vintage, and then go over to the modern section and check out all the dealers dealing with modern cards. So I don't know, mixing everyone around, I don't know. I don't understand why they do that. But then again, I'm not involved in the show, so I would love to know in the comments if you actually know why they set it up that way, and maybe not sectional by what they have to sell. I don't know. Would love to know if you have an inside scoop or some knowledge that you can let me know about. Lastly, in terms of vintage, there's a good amount of ungraded there, as most shows that at least that I've been to are. And in terms of graded cards, to me, there was almost, again, an unofficial count, just some observation. There seemed to be just as many SGC slabs than PSA. In fact, there were some dealer tables that pretty much had all SGC, and I just walked on by. My personal interest is PSA graded vintage cards. I know there's a lot of collectors out there that like the SGC slab. I think maybe recently, with maybe the turnaround time with PSA, maybe their higher cost depending on the card and the value, a higher cost to grade with PSA than SGC. I think a lot of maybe just dealers are submitting a lot of cards to SGC for vintage than PSA. Again, I'm not sure about that or not, but there seemed to be maybe 50-50. I was only interested in PSA, and so that limited my availability to look at the certain cards. But again, I did really good with the cards that I picked up. So those are my general thoughts. We'd love to know in the comments what are some of your other general thoughts of the National if you attended. So lastly, what I'll do here is I'm going to turn the camera around again, just quickly go through all the cards that I picked up. There's some stuff that I got from some YouTubers that I want to show as well, and then I'm going to wrap the video up with some additional footage of the National that I haven't shown in my previous recap videos. So let's go take a look at some cards. Okay, as I did for the National, I created sort of a custom card for my YouTube channel and gave them out to fellow YouTubers there. Here are some of the things that I picked up from fellow YouTubers. A little sticker here from Junior Baseball Fanatic. That was cool. Thank you, Liam. And from Dave, Legends of the Dugout, he gave me a the new Tops Now card of Wade Boggs, being inducted into the Tampa Bay Devil Rays Hall of Fame. There we go. So thank you, Dave. That was really, really nice of you to give me that Boggs card. It's one that I hadn't picked up, so it's a new card for my Wade Boggs collection. So thank you. And then Dylan Double D Vintage Baseball Cards gave me his custom card here with the Reds. I'll let you read that there. And that's the back. A lot of us do these custom backs as well. Tell us a little bit about themselves and so on. He gave me one of his stickers. He gave me this 2021 Panini Mosaic Boggs card. And something that I did not have in my collection, a sealed cello pack of 1986 Tops with Wade Boggs on the front. So Dylan, thank you very much. Thank you. Here's a sort of a custom card from Stuke. And here is the back, Stuke's Baseball Cards and Curiosities. You can look up his information there. Thank you, Stuke. And Sammy Thunder gave me his custom card, 1968 Tops design. Hopefully I can get this to focus here. And what he did new this year is for some of the cards he gave away on the other side of the card. So he let us choose which card that we wanted. And on the back of the card, he included a vintage baseball card. So my surprise vintage baseball card was this. I think it's from 62. 62 All-Star card of Frank Robinson. So Sammy, that was an awesome card to pick up. Thank you very much for that. Really cool Frank Robinson card. And Iconic Al had his card here for the National, and he signed it. And that's the back of his card. Big Scott 35 gave me his. He signed it. I guess that's a picture of him in his high school baseball uniform. I think it was high school Scott. And there's the back of that. Orlando, a collector's dream. He didn't have cards made yet, but he says he's going to have some made next year for Cleveland. But he had sort of like a business card, and he signed it for me. So there's Orlando's information. Oh, and there you go. Scan to subscribe. There you go. I don't know if you can do that from your phone right there, but I'm sure Orlando would love a sub if you're not subscribed to his channel. And then finally, my road trip buddy, picked him up in Pittsburgh, and we drove out to Chicago, and today dropped him back off at his house in Pittsburgh and headed home. The one, the only, Bob Lewis. So he gave me his custom card, and he signed it, Bob Lewis, NSCC 2023. There's the back there, and he said, "Thanks for the ride." So it was a pleasure, Bob. It was great getting to know you better. We had met, a few times. We went to the Pittsburgh Card Show, I think, last year. So we spent a little bit of time together there, but this was a nice, we pretty much had, 8-9 hours in the car each way. So it was a great time. So thanks, Bob. And the last day when I got back to my hotel room on the Sunday, this was waiting for me. He found this at one of the tables and picked it up for me. So it's the Topps Archives refractor there with a piece of game-used bat. So Bob, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. All right, on to my pickups. I'm not going to show all of these here, but I got two really nice stacks, 66 cards, I believe, in all, toward my 1978 top set. I haven't put the numbers in or checked off these cards in my checklist, but I think I was around 75%. So this probably puts me at least around 85% complete. So really did really good there. And the dealer who had these awesome 78s, and also the one that gave me a great deal on my 54 Bowman Ted Williams, was Craig Halbig. So I have his card there if you want to look up his information. Really nice guy, great cards, and again, very fair in dealing and putting deals together. So thank you, Craig. And okay, so let's look through the cards. I'm just doing these in chronological order. And again, I'm not going to talk about the price I got them for and the deals and stuff. I just want to show off the cards. So the first one here is, of course, that 75 Topps MVPs of 64, Brooks Robinson and Ken Boyer in a PSA 7. There's the back. Then the 71, this is for my Corey Yastrzemski run, the 71 Topps AL home run leaders in a PSA 7. The 70 Topps All-Star in a PSA 7. Love the back of that. Then from Got Baseball Cards, I didn't pick up one of their business cards, but it's gotbaseballcards.com. And this is the 66 ERA National League ERA leaders in a PSA 5 with Koufax and Marichal. And here's the 66 Topps Hank Aaron in a PSA 4. Love the centering on that. Then my 65 Topps Joe Morgan rookie card, PSA 5. I was hoping to get a Schmidt rookie, a bench rookie, and a Reggie Jackson rookie. It just didn't work out. I'm sure I can find some on eBay if I have the funds for it, or if not, maybe it will be a target for next year's National. But all in all, I ended up getting 9 cards on my 100 cards for $100,000. So I'm going to be doing an updated video on that here sometime. This one here, these next 2 cards, I'll show you their business card then, but this is the 64 Topps Hank Aaron PSA 4. This one and the next card I got from Indie Card Exchange. So definitely we'll be looking to go back to them at next year's National. That's at Ball Card Exchange. And I think it was 2019. I picked up my Corey Yastrzemski rookie card and another card. I can't remember, but I know it's the Corey Yastrzemski rookie. I picked up from Indie Card Exchange as well. So there's more information on them. And the second card I picked up from them was the 61 Topps Juan Marichal rookie in a gorgeous 3.5. And then the second card from Got Baseball Cards is the 61 Topps Rory Campanella MVP in a PSA 5. Then the last day of the show, actually Saturday. Yeah, it wasn't on the Sunday. It was the Saturday. My last big purchase was the 59 Topps Hank Aaron in that PSA 4. Love the backs of the 59s. And this next card I got from J&J Timeout LLC Sports Cards. John and Joyce Bucci, maybe? So there's their information. And they did me a solid with the help of Mike Baseball Collector. Again, thanks, Mike. On this 54 Bowman Mickey Mantle in a PSA 1. The more I look at this card, the more I love it. Even with the creases, I just love it. And then the other card there from Craig was that 54 Bowman Ted Williams, my big pickup, my big pickup for the National in a 2.5. Didn't think that I'd be able to get this card in that grade, but I was able to pull it off, and I'm so happy to have this card in my collection. Two more here. The 53 Bowman Color Warren Spahn in a PSA 4. That's not a mark on the card. That's just a that's just a sleeve there. And to round it out, the final card, keeping with Warren Spahn, a card that I did not have on my, it was on my 100 cards for $100,000, but was really not on my target list. On my 100 card list, I had it in a PSA 5 for $500. I figured with all the other cards that I needed at a lower price point that I wasn't going to look for one. And then I found this one in a PSA 3, and the deal I got on it, couldn't pass it up. So really happy to pick up the Warren Spahn rookie. So my early playing run of Warren Spahn has definitely got a boost at this National. So there you are, the cards that I picked up. I think there were, I don't know what there was, like 13, but like I said, 9 of them were on my 100 cards for $100,000, bringing me, I think, to 45 now. I'm up to 45 cards out of the 100. So again, I'm going to finish the video up here with some additional footage that I took of the National. So for all of you that I met at the National, had a great time. Can't wait to see hopefully the same number of you and maybe some newer ones at the show in Cleveland.
Yeah, Terry, I'd do 25.
Oh, that kid, yeah. That passenger.
They're still valuable for sure. The gray backs are a lot more rare, so population is lower, so cost is higher.
Julie.